Libra, hello. Welcome to your November 2020 reading, Sun, Moon, Rising and Ascending for the sign of Libra. If there's communication problems, you can also look at your Mercury as well as Venus for love. If you don't know where those placements are for you, you're more than welcome to look down below in the description. There's a link that says free natal chart. It gives that to you. That really helps a lot. So if this reading doesn't resonate, this general reading, you can look at your different signs as well. Okay. For those of you who support me every week, thank you so much for that. Welcome back. Thank you for your comments, like, share, and subscribe. And if it's your first time, you're welcome to the channel. My name is Adrian. I'm an intuitive healer. I practice holistic wellness as well as spiritual regression hypnosis. And let's get your reading. Let's get on with your reading. Let's see what we've got for you. I'm using the OSHO deck today, Zen Tarot OSHO deck for this reading. I haven't used it for anything in quite a long time. I haven't used it for my YouTube readings, personal readings, Facebook, Instagram, none of those. So I was keeping it for a special occasion and I feel this is it. So let's see what do we have for you as this year is beginning to draw to a close. It's a great sense of uncertainty that I'm feeling here, Libra, for you. Let's see, I'm just drawing, looking at your recent past, how you got there, what's happening going forward. For those of you that want beautiful graphic design work done or social media management, you can also contact my friend directly. There's a link down below in the description. It says AC Digital Marketing Solutions. There's something very interesting happening over here. I've done the reading for Gemini. And a lot of the cards that were coming out for Gemini is actually coming out for you as well. Different placements, but nonetheless. Alright, let me just pick this up from the floor. Okay, we need to talk. We definitely need to talk. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so the overall energy is innocence. This is about kind of bringing things back to simplicity, bringing things back to basics. Some of you you're a little bit far out, you're a little bit way out there, it's time to bring it back. It's time to regroup. Some of you have been spreading yourself incredibly thin, trying to be there for everybody, trying to help everybody, trying to get everybody to get through to the difficult times. There's an overall sense of kind of having lost yourself and now kind of finding yourself again. Okay. But for some of you, you're not quite sure what's going on at the moment. You're feeling rather confused. This is almost like like those metronomes that when you play a piano it goes like tick, 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 tick. So you're not quite sure what's going on at the moment because those metronomes are a bit off. It goes like you're like, are you having bipolar? What's going on with you? All right. So your metronome's a little bit funky at the moment. But I also feel there's a sense of getting things back. For many of you may have lost quite a lot of things, very materialistic sort of, worldly things. A lot of disappointments. Things didn't quite work out the way that you envisioned them to work out, and for some of you just felt like giving up. You were like, what is the point? What is the point? So we're going to look at the energy that brought you to where you are, which is your recent energy. You've got the outsider in reverse. Okay? You've got slow down, and then you've got morality, which you also had for the Gemini reading in the recent past, but where it's the third card here, that was actually the first card over there. And then for where you currently are, we've got patience and receptivity, which is in your current energy. For Gemini, it was in the energies coming towards you. Okay. And then we've also got healing, which is quite a beautiful card. And then for what's coming towards you, there is fighting, there is thunderbolt, which is like the tower basically, and breakthrough. Okay, so I feel that for some of you, for many of you actually, I feel that you felt that you work so hard to get a, to get a certain sort of plan together, to get a certain sort of life together, to get a certain sort of flow together, for how your life was going to be, for how things were going to be experienced by yourself as well as, all others involved. And some of you kind of realize that you sort of have to become your own hero, all right? Um, it's almost like for many of you, you came to the realization just because you will do so many beautiful things for other people and sort of be there for them and all those lovely wonderful things doesn't always necessarily mean that they would do the same for you. So there could have been quite a sense of disappointment that was taken there for many of you. Okay. All right, now that I can speak again. Yeah, for many of you, you kind of had to place yourself in the slow lane. You had to place yourself in the slow lane so you could sort of get a comprehension for what was actually going on here. Because for some of you, the path was kind of dark. You were like, um, it's almost like you felt like there was nowhere where you could go to. It was kind of dark. So for many of you, you sort of realized that it was time to stop running. You couldn't really go anywhere. You didn't have that clear sense of direction, the solution that you might always have. And some of you might have felt that, you might have found it horribly frustrating. But so you sort of had to sit and wait where you were and sort of almost like wait for the sun to come up, wait for the solution to come through, which could have frustrated many of you so very much because it's not really the sort of way that you like to operate things. Okay. But yeah, I feel that for some of you, you were running around, looking, chasing. But it's actually within the silence that for some of you, it's almost like you might have felt that life was almost like being unfair towards you. It sort of forced you into this, like a corner, basically, that you couldn't escape. And for some of you, when you start to think of it now, it's almost like you didn't want to escape now, But it's like this space that you were felt, sort of cornered into, pushed into. And it's within the space that you actually found yourself, that you found some jewels and some beauty, and even some solutions and a sense of compassion for yourself, an understanding for yourself that for some of you, you weren't even aware that it was there. You were helping many other people find this. But for some of you, it never really crossed your mind to kind of get that for yourself. All right. And so where you are at the moment, things are busy unfolding. Things are busy unfolding really, really fast. Things are busy unfolding really beautifully. There's sort of an energy of it's within the sort of patience instead of trying to go towards. And of course, I'm not discouraging you from going towards. I'm not discouraging you from going for life and going for gold and going for the. I'm not discouraging you from that, not at all. But what I'm saying is that for some of you, it's now where you're in the space where you're like, whatever. It's like picking up sand on the beach and just throwing it into the air for the sake of doing that, which is one of the funny things I like to do on the beach. But it's within this slowing down that a lot of what you were chasing towards and could never find is now actually coming towards you, because you are no longer chasing. And because you're no longer chasing, you are in the space of surrender. And we spoke quite a bit about surrender in the actual Gemini reading as well. So if you Gemini, you're dealing with a Gemini, trying to understand what's going on there, strong Gemini in your chart, then maybe look at that reading as well, because there is a sense of things unfolding. It's like the cycles of the moon, you're going to have to wait. If it is, say, for example, full moon that you want to have, and, we're only on quarter moon now, you're going to have to wait. Nothing you do is going to make it happen any faster, okay? And it's sometimes in that sense of accepting things for what they are that a lot of wonderful wonderful prospects start to flow into our lives that we never actually imagined might flow into our lives. So I get quite a lot of blessings, quite a lot of abundance, quite a lot of beautiful opportunities that are actually beginning to flow into your life. Things that you didn't expect, things in your wildest dreams you would have never actually thought about that. And that is how the healing for you actually come about, because I feel that for many of you with the healing you feel that you have to go and actually physically do something. You have to do something, or you have to be somewhere in order for it to happen. But so this is a very different way of approaching things, where instead of going and doing, you are actually sitting, waiting, surrendering. You're in that calm space, which brings you in alignment. There's something called, and I feel for you, this is what's happening at the moment, a realignment with 0 point energy. And 0 point energy is, when a baby is born, soul, having the human being experience into this world, you're born with this perfect sort of life plan, this life purpose, the soul sort of plan, and you're kind of born right on par. But then, of course, life starts to happen, and you get a little bit lost in the dark, and this is a return to that perfect plan that is actually working out initially right from the start. So and that is how the healing takes place for you, because I feel for many of you there might be a sense of almost like lack or loss, or that something is wrong, that something is missing. And the reason why you're feeling that is because, many of you were very out of alignment with who you were. And you would call it many, many other things. I'm so stressed, I'm so overwhelmed, sensory overload, panic, depressed. You would call it many, many different things, Now, obviously, I just want to obviously put in there for you, when it comes to something like depression. Depression is obviously, actual medical condition, and it's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. I don't know why people feel that there's any sort of shame in having depression, but what I'm talking about here is it's that sense of like, oh, poor me, poor me. Nobody cares about me. If I was worth it, I would eat some worms, but I don't even deserve that. Some of you were in that trip, and you got out of that trip. And the reason why you felt on that trip is because you were out of alignment with yourself. And it is a slowing down, because a lot of you were asking help from the universe. Were asking source, God, angels, guardian guides, creator, divine, love and light, whatever name it is that you choose. I need some help. And I have always been a very big supporter of asking for help. A lot of times people say you shouldn't ask for help. But what I know from my personal life, you can call it praying, you can pray it asking. It's about speaking to the universe, speaking to your mind, saying, this is what I'd like to have. This is what I'm prepared to have. This is what I don't want to have. You need to put that clarity out there. Okay. And so for many of you, you got into a space where you're like, this is not what I want. But also when you clearly put out what we don't want, you also become very clear about what it is that you do want. All right. And I feel for many of you in that space of like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Many of you have been running your entire life, trying to get things sorted and never quite getting there. It's like the solution was always just out of reach for you. Okay. And so you got fed up, you got tired. For some of you, you could even be like you kind of gave up, or you were like, you know what, God, whatever. You show me what you got or what you don't got, whatever. And you went into the surrender space because you got out of the way. You stopped feeling that you have to run towards. And so things started to happen for you, maybe a little bit slowly at first, a couple of, teething pains, some challenges. But where you are at the moment, things are beginning to flow for you. Your energy is rocking, okay? And it's by feeling that rocking energy, that happiness, that joy, that sense of elevation, because it's sort of like you returning to you. It's like two magnets that are pulling towards each other, and it's the most natural thing in the world to happen. Nobody and no force in the universe would expect anything different to happen, because this is your divine flow, this is your divine light. And so you're beautifully realigning there. Now, what's coming towards you, not everybody is going to fully appreciate and fully support, these sort of changes that you're making to your life. They're not going to like it. Okay? These are the parasites that were feeding off you all along in any case. And many of them know exactly what they were doing. They're not going to like the fact that you are now, sort of liberated and stepping into your power and stepping into your light and placing yourself first and loving yourself and appreciating yourself and approving of yourself and working on yourself. They're not going to like it. Not one little bit. That's fine. And the reason why I'm saying it's fine is that sometimes we feel that we have to explain ourselves to other people, but you don't have to. Time will reveal the truth in itself. And when, first of all, I'd like to say, when it comes to fighting, like I say to people sometimes, like, when you go into this very sort of spiritual life, especially my Reiki students often have a concern about that. So when you go into this very sort of spiritual life, sometimes your family, your friends, people close to you, they get very sort of nervous and excited about it, and they become very sort of, verbal about it. But sometimes we also want to stop and say, why is this person fighting with me? Because it doesn't have to be that they're all the parasites as well. If you, for example, come from a very religious family, that believes in heaven and that believes in hell. So they believe that if you don't follow, the scripture, whichever scripture it is that, that they are following, they might believe that if you don't follow the scripture, you don't follow the traditional ways, that you're not going to make it to, to heaven or to the afterlife or to Jannah or to whichever word it is that that your belief uses. For those of you who don't know Jannah, it is the it's not quite, but it's almost like the Muslim sort of equivalent word for heaven. Okay, just FYI. And they might be very concerned that you might go to hell, that you might go to damnation. So sometimes they may be really, really fighting for you, but we also want to sometimes ask, why is somebody fighting with me? Okay? Because what also happens is, remember, our minds are very habitual sort of things, and you can do all this change and it feels really incredible. But after a while, it's like this little devil in the one ear that comes back and says, but this is not really who you are. This isn't you. No, you're that victim. You're that suffering person. You're that person who don't have your stuff together, who don't have your life together. This is not you. Let's not get things twisted. But I also feel that for many of you, as you sort of hear this almost false prophets, within your mind, this beliefs that your mind can remind you of sometimes, you'll be like, but this is not who I choose to be any longer, okay? And this is the lovely, lovely thing where rock bottom can take us sometimes. When you realize that, and I had this very same experience when I was a couple of years ago. I was so down. I was literally at the point of committing suicide. Like I was prepared. I was ready to go. And I realized within that very, very, very low moment of my life that, if what goes up must come down, then, maybe what goes down can also come up. Maybe I can crawl out of this dark hole. Maybe I can get my life back together again, maybe just a little bit, And so for many of you, you get into the space where you're realizing when these thoughts are coming up, when these beliefs are coming up, you're like, this is not me. I don't choose to do this. And the thing is, in our lives, a lot of the beliefs that we have about life and about ourselves and about what we deserve and about what we don't deserve, they're not even our ideas. They're not even originally our thoughts, I always say that human beings are like one big recycling project, because you come from family legacies and family beliefs, beliefs within your DNA, within your energy, the things that people in your surroundings are saying, what they are believing, what they are affirming. We absorb those beliefs as true for us until you realize that I don't actually have to do this. I really don't need to do this, I can have a different life. And you realize that. And so there's a lot of sort of, kind of like cutting to the core for many of you when you realize that you don't have to believe the things that you believe, for your whole life up until now. You don't have to believe that. With the overall energy, and we're going to clarify the overall energy, but it's a belief, it's a return to innocence, to your 0 point energy, to the truth you know, to the authenticity of who you actually are, and realizing that you've got a choice. For many of you, there is this beautiful process that's happening in November 2020, and there's a breakthrough. There's a whole new light coming through. There's a whole new shine coming through. There's a whole new understanding that I don't have to be who others, you know, understand me to be. I can change. I can change who I am. You know, I could. The perception that people can have of me could have been true, but it doesn't mean that it has to remain true. You know, I can change my mind. I can change my beliefs about who I am and who I choose to be. Okay? So it's just going to clarify this overall energy for you. There we go. 5 of Cups in reverse. Okay. 6 of Pentacles. 4 of Cups. 7 of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, so 5 of Cups in reverse. 6 of Pentacles. 4 of Cups in the upright position. 7 of Pentacles. So there are some of you that are holding out here. You may say that you don't want an apology, you know, but for some of you, you do. But a lot of you have also really, really overcome so beautifully the past. You've overcome it, you've let it go, you've set it free, you've released your expectations. And this is what brought you to where you currently are. Okay, you release that belief to be right. You release that belief that they need to be accepted, you know, to be okay according to them. And that started to set you on a good path, especially with finances, you know, and all sort of materialistic blessings, which could also include love. You know, you sort of set yourself on a good path. Now, where you currently are, I feel that for many of you, there's a new offer coming in. Offer of love, offer of compassion, offer of support, offer of business, offer of attunement, friendship, expansion. And you're like, I don't know. You know, some of you are still playing the safe game here. I don't know. Last time I tried this, so I let the past go. I released the past, I set it free. But last time that I tried this, it didn't end so well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to take the chance again. But the reminder here is that now you know more. Now you know better. Yeah, with 7 of Pentacles, you are ready for so much more right now than, you know, that you may have been able to handle before. Let's see what we've got for you from a Moonology card. See what we have for you for the there's too many cards. The loving energy of the moon, which is our, you know, divine feminine, divine mother energy, really. Okay. Oh, 3 again. Okay, it's fine. We're just going to take it. It says, mutable moon, nothing is yet set in stone. Life can go either way for you. And why not a positive way? Full moon in Virgo. Confirmation. You are good enough. Okay? You are good enough. And full moon in Capricorn. What a wonderful way to end our reading. And if it resonates with you, feel more than welcome to like, share, comment, subscribe. Remember also my friend AC Digital Marketing Solutions, link down below, does all my beautiful work for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell. It says full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Isn't that a beautiful confirmation? A beautiful way to end off your reading, and claim that inside your heart for yourself. The end of a tough cycle approaches, and so it is. Until next time, namaste, love and light.